Hey guys, Automatic Garage back today, and it's hot, and when you have an Excursion, you need some AC. So we're gonna show you how we're gonna get the AC fixed on this today. I've actually topped this Freon off before for them in the past. It was a very slow leak then. It's now a significant leak. You charge it up and drive the truck about a month, and it ain't cooling by the end of the month. So let me show you what's leaking real quick. It's obvious because it's got dye in the system, so let me show you. So what's leaking is our low side line that runs to the back. This is where it branches off up here at the dryer, goes to the back, goes under the truck, and you can tell, I mean, it's been leaking. There's dye coming all out of here where it mates together. Hadn't found a leak anywhere else in the system, so we're gonna go after that. Let me show you the new part. Gary's gonna get it torn apart. So the part we got is a two-piece line. I don't know that the one on there is because I don't see this joint under the truck. Either that or it's hidden. But I think the replacement part is two pieces. I don't know that you could do this without it being two pieces. But anyways, this is a Motorcraft part. There's the front portion, part number, and there's the rear portion. Well, I thought I had a tag on it. Contents made in China. I'll be doggone. So Gary's pulling our inner fender well. It's going to give us access to where the lines start running up to make it up here to the dryer. So we got to pull that first. The biggest inconvenience with this, I think, is going to be I installed a airbag system on this truck with the air compressor and the tank and all that. The tank's mounted right here on the frame rail, and all my air lines and everything are all nicely tucked up and zip tied to all these AC lines. So I have to undo all that to get this apart. I don't think I got to take the tank off of the frame, but I got to get all those lines out of the way. But he's got a slow lead going to one of these bags anyway, so I got to find that. So, oh well. Anyways, we're going to get to pulling this fender. I'm going to get to sucking the Freon out of the system, and then we can start tearing into this. I don't think it's going to be that bad. My biggest concern is where it makes the turn up here, the inner fender well, and gets up to the dryer. It's kind of a tight fit, so that's going to be the part that's going to be a problem. So let's get after it. Would y'all please tell Gary to put some short sleeves on? It's like 9,000 degrees outside, and you're dressed like it's fall.
Cold,
Meanwhile, I got a sleeveless shirt on and shorts.
I guess that's all of it.
Like a lumberjack. You had a flannel shirt. Why don't you just wear flannel out here?
Yeah.
That'd be better.
Yeah.
You ought to buy this truck because you don't even need air conditioning. You're so cold.
Yeah.
All right, we got our inner fender well pulled, and that's a little more fun on an Excursion than it is on a Super Duty, just because you got it kind of tucked behind the cladding here. You got these extra little flaps down there by the shock. It's just a little bit tighter fit working it out without bending anything up, tearing nothing up. But anyways, we got that off. So here's the line we're going after right here. Here's our first bracket that comes down here, and then there's a series of those brackets down here under the truck. There's the next one. But anyways, we're going to go after that, and you're going to see what I'm talking about here with my airlines that I ran for all this with the tank under the truck. So I'm going to go along here and start getting all the brackets undone, because my goal is when I open an AC system is to not have it open any longer than I have to, especially when it's so humid like this. I don't want any more moisture getting drawn up into the system, which the Freon boils out for a little while. But anyways, I just try to do as fast as I can. So let me get after getting all the brackets off, and we'll pick back up when I'm ready to start actually undoing some lines. These little boogers right here are a little bit of fun to get off. So what I did, start with your outside lines, pull on this and kind of push on the line a little bit. Make sure not to bend them up, they are aluminum. Same thing on the bottom, and then you can work your way in, undo this one, undo that one, and kind of wiggle. This is plastic, you don't want to break it. If you got one that's broke, there's your part number right there on it, which I bet, good luck finding it, I don't know. So let me get the rest of these off, and then we'll have the lines free, and then it'll be time to start busting some lines loose. By the way, the nuts that hold the brackets on are 7/16. All right, your rear line, you're undoing, like we say, this one right here, your low side, has the little spring retainer. You got to use it's like a fuel line disconnect basically on it. And before you get to that, it's got this plastic retainer on it, and you can see you lock it open by pulling these back there. They're usually like that, but you pull it back, do it one-handed, and lock it behind there like that. Then you get your disconnect. I'll get the disconnect and we'll pick up there. All right, we've sucked down the AC system. This is a 1/2 inch right here on the line. We're gonna get under the truck next and undo it at the back, and then we're gonna start figuring out how big of a pain it's gonna be working this thing out from under the truck. All right, so I thought I had my camera recording. I must have hit it with my hand while I was up there, but this is a little bit of a booger. I soaked it with some WD-40 because I was having issues with getting my disconnect up in there. And this is, what size is this? It's a 3/4 is what it was, and it worked up in there a lot easier after I sprayed some WD and let it soak for a minute. So anyways, that's how you do that. Now we're gonna see how much of a pain it's gonna be to work this thing out of here. I'm kind of stressing this part. All right, this is kind of starting to look a little bit like a cluster, but I think we're gonna get it figured out here. Best advice I can give is go along and make sure you got all the zip ties loose, because there's a lot of black zip ties from the factory in spots. I just found one more that I missed right here where the low side is zip tied to the high side line. So we're gonna lower this down the lift. I'm gonna get up here at the top and see what it takes to work it down, get it down here in the fender well so we can get it down low enough and hopefully work this line from the back out the front. I'm gonna look one more time for that joint, but I haven't seen it yet. All right, I got it all down here in the fender well, hanging down low. The only other thing I did was I unplugged the map sensor, undid the 310mm for the bracket for it, and just leaned it over here, and that gave me all the room I needed to feed it down, so I'm glad we got that part done. All right, this does not have a joint in it, and I guess Ford got smart enough with the replacement part to make it easier to replace and put the joint in it, so I just cut a joint in it. We're replacing it anyways. Just be real careful not to cut another line while you do it. So I got it down that far, and I'm gonna see if I can't work it out, because I got to figure out how to work that one in anyways, so I need to at least see if I can work this other one out without just cutting it all into pieces so I can wrap my head around it. So I'm gonna work this one out now. Oh, that came out pretty easy. The trick was I got this end down, and I had to feed it over the arm of the lift here to get it below this, because it was hitting here, so I couldn't drop it down low enough to kind of work it over the leaf springs and start having it come out at a good angle. So that's how I did that. Now we're gonna see if we can get this dude in. I'm gonna lay it next to this and make sure it all makes sense before we do this. I think it's kind of a little late to turn back now. All right, the best way I can describe to get this all back lined up and looking the way it's supposed to look is using these as your guide. So you got your 2 heater hoses, you got your low side, you got your high side, stacked in that order, at least from this point back. Take some pictures if you need to. So I got all of them clipped on, none of them are bolted up yet. I had not made my connection yet at the back, and I'm glad I didn't, because I had to take this, let's see, I had it worked on the wrong side of the high side here, I think, line, but I had to work that back over. But anyways, once I started organizing it with the keepers, made it a little bit easier getting it all lined up right. Now, I just got to do the front part. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm not going to bolt anything up yet so that I got some room to wiggle this around to get it all tightened up right. So, let me start working that one. Man, it's freaking hot today, and my face is dirty. I'm looking up at the bottom of this damn truck. Let me turn you around here. We got it all on finally. This is a little bit of a fight. That front hose was not quite bent just right. I had to do a little bit of tweaking on it to get everything to line up good. Let me turn you around here. So we're hooked up here. All of our hold downs are on. It was missing one nut, so I'm gonna go dig through my nut and bolt collection and find one for it. But it's all run back the way that it was. I'm gonna get the upper connection done. I'm gonna start pulling a vacuum so we can start getting the moisture out of the system and get ready to charge it back up. And I'm gonna mount this up while I was pulling a vacuum. But this is where I was dealing with stuff not quite lining up just right, and this still doesn't look exactly how it was before. I don't like how that is right there, so I'm going to do a little bit of tweaking on that, probably from the top, because this was originally, see that if I put that bolt in there now, it's going to push on that line. It was back here before, so I'm going to get that right, get the top hooked up and start pulling a vacuum. All right, we just started our vacuum. We're down to about 17 so far. This is a Harbor Freight special. My other one broke, so we'll see how this one works. All right, we're all back together. Air tank mounted back up. Everything's tucked back, zip tied back up neatly, just the way it was before. We have not put the inner fender well back in yet. I think I'm gonna charge the AC up first, make sure everything is 100% fine, and then we'll put it back in. So I'm gonna drop this down. I checked the vacuum a few minutes ago. It had been probably almost an hour since we pulled the vacuum. It was sitting right where it was at, so I'm happy with that. So let's put some Freon in it. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the video on replacing this AC line on this real nice Excursion here. Not too hard of a fix, just a little bit time consuming on running the line correct and getting it fed in, getting it fed out. Luckily, they were smart enough to make that replacement line two-piece so you could get in there. I don't know how you do it if it's one-piece, because it's a little bit of a challenge even doing the two-piece. So if you got an AC line leaking, whether it's the high side or the low side, that's how you do it. Be the same process either way, other than the high side is a smaller line. This Excursion could be possibly coming to the automatic garage because Michael's talked about selling it. If he does, I may have to grab it up. We may have to get rid of this automatic Excursion, so y'all stick on for that. Check us out at Facebook, Instagram, and Rumble. We got a whole lot of other Ford content on the channel here, Power Stroke stuff. Anyways, we appreciate y'all. We'll holler at y'all later. Also, if you're looking for someone that's honest and trustworthy to work on your Ford or your Power Stroke, go check us out at automaticgarage.com. All our contact info is on there. We'd be glad to help you out. Give us a call.